Senator Cormann.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Deputy President. Mr. Acting Deputy President, this is a piece of legislation that is being introduced now so that the government can look busy in the health portfolio. The reason they want to look busy in the health portfolio is so they can make people believe that they're actually doing something. Because we've got to remember that in the health portfolio, the Rudd Labor government promised the world before the last election, and they have delivered next to nothing. They've been a great disappointment in the health portfolio. All we've had, Mr. Acting Deputy President, is a series of reviews, followed by more reviews, followed now by reviews into those same reviews, and photo opportunities around Australia for the Prime Minister and the Minister for Health and Ageing, all with the single purpose of making it look as if the government is doing something when in fact they're doing nothing. It reminds us of the episodes in Yes Minister. Remember that episode, Mr. Acting Deputy President, of the hospital? The hospital without patients, 500 bureaucrats, 500 people typing away, writing reports, shuffling paper, being very busy, very, very busy. But no patients. Nothing was actually being done. Now, we have had, before the election, heaps of promises. Labor had a plan to fix public hospitals. They were going to fix public hospitals by the middle of 2009. The buck was going to stop with the Prime Minister. We were going to have a new era of cooperative federalism. The government was no longer going to prosecute this ideological crusade against people with private health. Preventative health was going to be a high priority. Instead, all we've had is reviews, reviews, more reviews, the occasional lazy budget cut, usually targeted at those Australians who access their healthcare services through the private system. Now, one of those many reviews which the government commissioned was a review into the preventative health area, the very important preventative health area, the National Preventive Health Taskforce. The Minister commissioned it, Mr. Acting Deputy President, in April 2008. For 15 months, they worked very thoroughly through all of the issues. They came up with a whole series of recommendations on how they thought the government should proceed in the preventative health area. Now, the government received that report on the 30th of June. That's 4 months ago. Since then, the government has been sitting on that report. They have not come out and made any response whatsoever in terms of which measures they will support, which measures they will oppose. Like, we are none the wiser. And here we've got this bill proposing to set up another layer of bureaucracy before we actually know what direction the government is intending to take in the preventative health area. We've got a lot of talk and no action. A lot of talk and no action. Now, Mr. Acting Deputy President, I'll just draw your attention to a few of the recommendations, because at the core of this issue, at the core of our concern with this, is that we are faced with a government which has been absolutely unable to make a single hard decision in the health portfolio. They haven't been able to make a single hard decision. Whenever they're faced with a difficult decision, they set up another committee. They set up another review. They set up another consultation round. They set up a propaganda tour around Australia where the Prime Minister and the Minister for Health appears at a hospital near you for a nice little photo opportunity, trying to look as if you're doing something by being busy. Now, we on this side of the chamber are very supportive of effective preventative health measures, but we are not in favour of setting up another bureaucracy without a clear purpose. And this is exactly why we will be moving a second reading amendment, which I hope will be supported by the Senate. A second reading amendment which calls on the government to table forthwith its response to all of the recommendations of the Preventive Health Taskforce, which the government has been sitting on for the last 4 months. Now, we in this Senate had to shame the government into releasing the report in the first place. It took them 2 months before they were prepared to release it publicly, all the while leaking bit by bit whenever they needed instruction out there in the media. Now, Mr. Acting Deputy President, we want to know what the government is proposing to do in relation to the recommendation, for example, to make tobacco products more expensive, to raise the average price of a packet of 30 cigarettes to at least $20 within 3 years. Is the government supporting it, or is the government opposed to it? Who know exactly? What is the government proposing to do with the recommendation in relation to changes to alcohol taxation? Is the government supporting them, or are they opposed to it? Are they supporting them in part? If yes, to what extent?
They'll go to Indonesia for the
they'll go and find an Indonesian solution, exactly. Now, restrictions on alcohol promotion and marketing. Now,
Order. It being 2 p.m. Time for questions without notice.